Little black book. You know what time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is.
To episode 1 of Who the Fuck Did I Work For? So because I'm unemployed, this is my content now. So if you like content like this, like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that little bell notification. So this is the creator of the pod. This is Randy Rosario, Mike the Poet, Trip Fontaine, Fine Ass Keita Rose, and Mojo Gaja! A lot of you guys are like, well, I don't care about this bitch or that bitch. Where's my favorite? Oh, shit, there she go to your favorite. She be dropping them gems. This is Kitty Rose. She got Randy out quick fast. She said, I want your spot. How can I manipulate everyone to get it? I'm going to detail that, though, in the following episodes. It's going to be like 500 episodes. Uh-oh, bonus feature. This guy says he used to be with Kitty, but that can't be true because it would have been around the time she was married, and she can't stand side bitches, and she can't stand cheating women. Ho, the drama, the tea. Hope we all heal. Hi, and welcome to episode 1 of Who the Fuck Did I Work For?
Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Book. Man, I'm gonna say some quick thoughts. I don't want to be on this long because I feel like when these situations happen, right? I'm always very cautious of these ones, right? Because, like, for instance, tonight's podcast, I actually like some of their stuff. I don't agree with everything they say. I don't agree with anybody 100%. I don't even agree with myself 100%. You know what I'm saying to you? So I never held them up as a savior or anything, but I love the fact that they were having conversations, because I hate what we've become a generation where we're like, everybody's got a microphone, but the reality of the situation is that most of us have conversations when we're at home. You know what I'm saying to you? Everybody has conversations when you're home. Like, we talk about relationships. That's why relationship podcasts have become so huge. It's because we talk about relationships every single day, whether you're at work, whether you're at home, with your friends, with your loved one. We talk about relationships wherever we are. So we are a generation now where people get to amplify their voices. That's the only trouble now, is that everybody can amplify their voice. Now, with the situation of tonight's podcast, I've seen some videos on TikTok and everything like that. And stuff like that. And look, can I be honest with you? You know, I know a lot of people are gonna, especially from a Christian perspective, are gonna be like, you know, this is what happens when people are not married. But I want to be very cautious of that. I was trying to find an angle how to talk about this. I want to be very cautious as us as Christians, trying to judge it from a place of, if they were Christians, this wouldn't happen. Or if they weren't fornicating, this wouldn't happen. I want to be very careful of that. And I'm going to tell you why we're very careful of that. Because even in the Bible, people were having arguments. If we read James 4, it talks about why you guys have dissension amongst you, right? And the reason why you have dissension amongst you is because you have your own desires, right? And the problem with human beings is when human beings get together, they struggle, even Christians, because we have a thing called flesh. So I'm very cautious when I talk about certain things like this and certain angles. What I'd rather focus on is just bad behavior. There is bad behavior when you're Christian or not Christian. The principles are always the same. You know what I'm saying to you? The principles are always the same. Bad behavior is bad behavior. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I was just listening to Nick Cannon the other day, and listening to Nick Cannon talk about how before, when they were trying to replace Nick Cannon with DC Young Fly, and DC Young Fly said, "I'm not going to do it. It's Nick Cannon's show. I'm gonna respect him. Okay, I'm gonna respect him." And so that showed us a level of respect. Now, probably because Nick Cannon runs a good business, probably because he pays the people very, very well. Listening to tonight's conversation, especially from Keita, it sounds like there's more than just people fornicating. It sounds like there is money issues. And whenever you play with people's money and you cause them to miss bills and not have the finances to make ends meet, you are going to be exposed. It's not going to take long, okay? Because you're messing with people's livelihood as well as anything. So there's that aspect. I heard there was manipulation in terms of potentially Ace metaphor, putting the women against each other and creating dissension and arguments and creating competition. She mentioned about Kitty, about Kitty not being faithful to her husband, etc. And Keita talking about how she felt like she was being downtrodden, spoken down to, being disrespected. That's got nothing to do with fornication. That has to do with a bad person in general. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Like, that's to do with a bad person in general. It's like that's not to do with Christian ordeals or Christian ideals. You know what I'm saying to you? That's to do with people in general. That's to do with people who are mean spirited and ugly in spirit in general. You know what I'm saying to you? In general. So when I listen to the story that they're telling, I'm like, yo, this goes beyond, because I know a lot of people wanted to talk about the Tony Gaskins saying he was right. Yeah, it depends what angle you're coming with this situation. But for me, the angle I'm looking at is, if you are bad at business, if you are somebody who's got a malpractice, somebody who's evil in their spirit, you're gonna cause a lot of issues for people. You are. You're gonna cause issues to do it, because you're gonna cause people to have dissension amongst themselves, and that's a big thing. Now, they did another live, which I want to talk about as well. Another live, which was I saw on, and they were going a little bit deeper. Now, I do apologize. There might be a little bit of swearing in this, so just, forgive. I know, but they were talking a little bit more about the situation here.
Whatever the fuck this is, and we need to break down why that happens, why people are so quiet when that happens, why people turn a blind eye when that happens. How does it make you feel? Abuse makes me feel this situation has made me feel less than, like I'm not talented, like I'm not funny, like I'm not, like maybe I need to do something else, figure out, because I had someone constantly saying, you ain't shit. Yep. You nothing. And I'm big dog and you shit. So it's like, okay, we're gonna break down what abuse is. It's to really break down raw emotions. Mm-hmm. It's not, if you want to go support whoever you support, I don't have no issue with anybody on no show. Keep supporting the show. Keep loving the people that you love. Keep having your faves. Now, one fave of yours, she did too much to me.
Now, let's pause it right there, because what she's describing is talking about emotional abuse. So if I'm consistently tearing you down, breaking you down, speaking verbals on you, and speaking negatively on you, I'm now in a space of emotional abuse. That is what she's describing, that she suffered at the hands. I'm guessing it was probably Ace, right? A situation as well. So that's a major thing in that perspective. And I know how difficult that I know now difficult. Again, that is breaking of normal dynamics, which is why I'm saying that let's take the Christian aspect out of this. As a normal human being, this is never gonna work if there is emotional abuse. Do you get what I'm saying to you? You see what I'm saying to you? Like, you don't have to be a Christian or whatever. That's got nothing to do with it. I'm gonna say it again. Being Christian has got nothing to do with the fact that what he was doing. Him having sex with women has got nothing to do with the fact that if he was being emotionally abusive, that doesn't, being a fornicator and being emotionally abusive, they don't go hand in hand. Do you get what I'm saying to you? They don't go hand in hand. When someone is willing to have multiple women, maybe I can see how that could go, but again, it doesn't go hand in hand with being emotionally abusive. What that is as a character flaw, and that is something to do with the fact that you yourself believe you're superior. That is something internal that Ace has to work through. Again, it's allegedly, so just, we can't say for sure, right? So that in itself, the issue is not to do with the fact that you have a different set of beliefs. It's that as a human level, on a base level, you are mean. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Like, if you go into work, right? Not everybody at your workplace is a Christian. If they started being emotionally abusive, you're going to blame it on the fact they're not Christians. It's got nothing to do with the fact that the Christians are not Christians or they follow Jesus Christ or not. It's simply the fact that they have a certain level of behaviors that are destructive to other people. You know what I'm saying to you? So what she's describing here, okay? What she's describing here is somebody who inevitably in their heart is somebody who's dark. Now, first and foremost, the only issue I had with Ace Metaphor is, I remember when I first started seeing some of the videos, it was always pandering towards women. That was my only issue. That was my only ever issue with him. Like, I don't. That was my only ever issue with Ace Metaphor, is that every time he tells a story from the woman's perspective. Like, do you know what I'm saying to you? But other than that, I didn't have a problem with him. Now, if he's got other traits that are dark, you know what I mean? That's my only issue. So for me personally, that was the only issue I had with them. Again, I personally, for me again, I don't mind listening to people, whether you're single, married, or divorced. I don't care. I will listen to you if I believe you're wise. If you're not wise, I won't listen to you. You know what I'm saying to you? If you're not wise, I won't listen to you. If I don't believe that advice is sound, I won't listen to you. That's just my perspective. I like people that are wise. I like people that are knowledgeable. I like, for instance, I might listen to Jordan Peterson. I might listen to Esther Perel. I might listen to Lewis Howes. I might listen to also Stephen Labossiere, right? I will listen to a bit of Tony Gaskins. I will listen to, R.C. Blakes. I will listen to these people because they have wisdom. And so I take what I can from them. And if I apply it to my life, I say, all right, cool. You get what I'm saying to you? Now, if you're somebody that is obviously serial in a particular way, you some particular traits, then I probably won't listen to you. You know what I'm saying to you? So, again, I'm always very careful. Yes, I think that's a correct take, Jeffrey, that I felt like Trip was the one that gave a balanced perspective when it came to it. And again, you can always hear balance. When you hear somebody's balance, you hear it because they give both sides of the tale. They don't choose one side. They give both sides of the tale. And so I love Trip, to be honest. I think he was always a person who was intelligent.
So now she's on TikTok. You probably won't see her on Instagram. She did too much. The lying, the manipulating, the joining, and all the shit, and throwing God in there. As if God said to destroy people around you. Destroy the people around you. Absolutely not. We're not going to do that. So there's a lot of church abuse that stems this. And you don't know until you really start to you got to reflect wait, this makes sense. Da, da, da. Sometimes you don't know you were being abused until months later. And that's why people say, why the fuck you ain't leave? It's like, once I figured it out, now I'm mad, but shit. I had to figure it out.
People always try to figure out a way to blame the victim. Like, why you didn't leave. The same reason why you didn't leave that job and your boss was kind of handling you crazy, or your coworkers was getting on your nerves every single day, and you didn't leave. You stayed there for like 3-4 years. That's why. People have bills to pay. People have families to feed. People have careers to build. And once you're in entertainment and you're a part of a platform that's large, it's usually very easy for you to get to the next step and get to what's next. But when you're a part of a situation and all they're doing is spitting lies on your name and spitting venom on your name and trying to belittle you and take you down, that's crap.
So this tells me that we're in a very toxic work environment, and this happens with human beings in general. And this is why I'm saying to you that there are principles one must obey, whether you're Christian or not Christian. There are principles that one must obey, right? Like when we look at working with people, just treating people with a basic respect, right? Not thinking you're better than other people, having some level of equality in the workplace. Speaking with kindness and care with people, right? Seeking to create a family and a bond. Like Sean's here, I have Jay, I have Seaway. Listen, have we not argued before? We've argued before. People don't know we've argued before. Like me, Seaway, Jay, Sean, we've argued before. We argue and then we come back and be like, all right, my bad, bro. Like, because we're family. I look at it as family. So if something happens, I'm like, all right, I was wrong. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Like, I have to go, okay, I was wrong or whatever. And I've told you guys that last time when I had an argument with them, I was angry because I had felt some type of way beforehand and they mentioned something and then I said something and I was just vexed and I left the conversation. Then I came back and apologized. Because that's family. You know what I'm saying? And so in those perspectives, so it's about the environment that you're in. If it's a toxic environment, it doesn't matter where it exists. So long as you have human beings, there can be a chance of toxic environment. If you've been to church long enough and you've been in particular churches, you know that even church has toxic environments. You know why? Because there are people in there that are not following principle. And because people have their own desires and their own motives, right? And people have their own heart, their own issues and wounds that they're carrying. People can be offended over small things because of what they're feeling or what they're thinking or what they're going through. You know what I'm saying to you? So this can happen anywhere if you don't follow principles of just being kindness and loving of people. Now, that the reality of the situation is this, right? That when that poison starts to seep in, you're going to have to cut it. You know what I'm saying to you? When that poison seeps in, we're going to have to cut it. And the reason why we have to cut it is because what ends up happening is if you don't cut it, the poison spreads and manifests itself. And obviously, I've run my YouTube for how many years, but also I did a youth group chat, and I've experienced this with people where people just you don't understand how quickly someone can just turn on you very, very quickly. Like, even if you treat them with kindness, someone can turn on you. So when poison starts to seep in, you have to kind of cut it out quickly. But as the leader of the place, you're going to be accountable, which means you're going to have to do something about it. So if this environment has become so toxic, we do have to look at what measures were put in place by what measures were put in place by Ace Metaphor, because there are complaints coming on multiple sides, not just from the ladies, but people outside of the show as well. So there seems to be something that may be going on in that respect. Fair enough. And then we have to look a bit deeper. And actually, Ace, I think you might have some issues here that you may need to look at. There's some particular behaviors that you need to look at that are actually playing a role in the way that you treat people. You know what I'm saying, Chu? And that's a major thing. Let's play a little bit more.
That's correct. Like, that's bull crap to me. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. But we about to make it fair. We about to make it right.
That's just it. And whoever got a problem with it, just gonna. It's up.
Anybody got a problem with it? Remember, I was paid off to be quiet.
That's what he said.
So
he said, "Randy, he's fine."
Bring it to my door.
I said, "Wait, you doing me just like you did Randy?" I said, "What?" He said, "Oh, now you bringing up Randy? I gave her $34,000. Well, bitch, here's my Zelle." You said Randy got paid for her abuse and I didn't? That's not fair. Fuck. Nigga spitting in my face, like literally talking to you, like yelling at you so much to where spittle is just like on your face. You're spitting on me.
You're yelling and you can't control yourself.
You're spitting on me.
Now, this sounds like there's a bigger issue when it comes to Ace Metaphor and the way that he's handling the people around him. It sounds like the way he's treated the women were as if they're below him and beneath him. Right? Sounds like people are beneath them. You get what I'm saying too? And so in that respect, like, that again, that is not a normal thing. Like that is somebody actively trying to hurt the people around them. Like, they have I can't remember the word, but his practices are destructive to the people around him. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So that issue is stemming not just from a bad leadership, because, you know what I'm saying to you, it's not just bad leadership. That's stemming from the fact that he is a mean person he's not seeing the people as equals. He's not seeing the people that are working with him as valuable people that are working alongside him. At that point, that's a different way we have to look at it. That is not even bad business. That's him probably stemming from greed and selfishness. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, stemming from greed and selfishness. You know, and shout out to this question here. The ladies that were on my panel the first time round, they listen. They have other things to do. They have their own purpose and own vision. They were all very, very powerful women that were on my platforms beforehand. So we didn't fall out or anything. We didn't fight or anything like that per se. It just came about that during that point of time, it was COVID time. So everyone had a lot more time on their hands. You know what I'm saying to you? And so it just came to a point where everyone had to just go their way, because obviously, listen, all those women were working women who were, doing great things. So time is obviously of the essence, and sometimes you don't have that time, which is fair as well. So just to make sure it's very, very clear, it's not because we fell out or anything like that. That because I made a comment about cutting people out, that wasn't to them. The likes of Araba, Lola, Kenny, we had Maria, as well. Layla, as well, Shanae, you know what I'm saying to you? Those women were great. Time and season had to happen. Do you know what I'm saying to you? There were time and season as well. So that's what actually happened there. So it's nothing to do with cutting out anything like that per se. They were actually great. It's just that they had other missions to go to as well. So these situations, like they and even then, again, some of those things, having so many people, there were arguments then. It's natural to have arguments, but in bad faith, when you say things to people, when you insult them, when you're not, and as I said, you have a contract but you've not paid them, we're doing a bit dirty. He's doing you dirty. And I saw a video where he actually replied to it, however, talking about the fact that business has kind of changed, that people are not buying as much. But I'm like, he signed the contract with them, so he has to explain that to them. But it doesn't sound like he's explaining that. It sounds like he's refusing to even explain that, and really just kind of telling them and berating them, and that's why the abusive claims are coming over, because it's like, you are screaming, shouting, hollering, and moving mad. Yes, they're going to look at you some way. Yes, they're going to accuse you. You know what I mean?
You created the exact hostile work environment that our contract says that we can't create.
No, I say don't talk about them hoes he fucking.
Ooh.
Just say that. Well, maybe we got different ones. I'm not allowed to say people's names. I can't.
That's because you popped off that year in DC. They changed your contract. They ain't changed everybody's.
I was about to lose my mind. I was like, hey, bruh, you keep on getting my name confused. Like, you keep calling me her name. I understand it's very, like, similar. He said, who cares?
See, that right there, that's the problem. All right, that is going to be the biggest problem. See, a response like that tells me he doesn't care. If they're saying to you, listen, my name, you're getting me confused with somebody else, I don't care. That tells us what, like, can you imagine me telling Sean and say, listen, Sean, I don't give a heck what your name is. Like, that's crazy. And again, it shows, again, a lack of value. You know what I'm saying to you? That's what I'm saying to you. It's very different from somebody having an arc. It's very different from them breaking apart, because, you know, we have the R&B bands, you have our, you know, your favorite boy or girl bands where they break up, and it happens because people have their own investments, their own vision, their own goals, and, you know, their own paths in life, and something happens and they got to go their way. But this case, you are mistreating the people that you're in. How can you tell somebody that you don't even care what the name is?
Bitch, you name you messing up. I care. I don't want you to call me her name. He said, oh, well, whatever. Started laughing. I'm like, when somebody's like, I'm not even going to...
I don't even respect you enough to call you by the name.
Called. I'm like...
Yeah. Listen.
All I know, everybody looked at me like I was crazy because I had an attitude. He got an attitude. Why she mad? Somebody messing up her name. Right, it's not your name. That's probably why you're not mad. Nothing happening to you. Shit.
And then he intentionally got people that had names like us, so we felt like we were being replaced.
Oh, he told me he was going to replace me. He told me he was going to replace me. He was like, she's funnier. She's more valuable. She has 5 million followers. She's way better than you.
That is wild behavior. Wow. Talking like a boss that way to somebody is crazy, but talking like that to a friend or like, do you know what I'm saying to you? Like, even someone you employ like that, it would never be allowed in a normal workplace. It would never be allowed in a normal workplace. For that to happen, there will be protocols put in place. That boss will be called up. There will be a meeting right now. Probably HR get involved and probably wouldn't do anything. Let's be honest. Okay. Just saying. But, you know, that again, it's just wild. A disrespect.
He said that to you?
I said, 5 million. My hands are tied. She's better than you. I said, well, can I have my paychecks for May?
He said that to you? Seriously?
Yeah. And I said, okay.
See, here's the thing, though. It's all greed, because in reality, the shows aren't getting smaller. The shows are growing. So it's all greed and wanting to be cool and friends with the cool kids and all that stuff. Because in reality, dog really hopped in his feelings when said girl commented on my post saying, oh, we support you wherever you go, we're going.
She supported me.
Remember that?
Too. But my thing was, see, here's the thing, though. Let's not get it twisted. Because it's the same thing that happened. It's the same thing that always happens with the women. Mm-hmm. With the women. He goes to each one and he says, she's better than you. She's better than you. Yep. So then you're looking at her like, I said, okay, she might be great. What does that have to do with my manyan?
So that is, and you know, the Bible says that we should cast out the scorner, but it also talks about that the Lord hates people that intentionally sows discord between people. If he's going between women and saying these things and creating discord, this is manipulation and witchcraft of the highest order. It's nasty work. It's nasty work. If that's what he's doing, if again allegedly, because we don't really know, that is nasty work. And that's why I was quoting James 4, because James 4 talks about this, that what causes fights and quarrels among you, don't they come from the desires that battle within you? You desire but you do not have, so you kill. You covet but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. When you ask, you do not receive because you ask for the wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's like, people argue and fight in this way because they have no desires, but this is maltreatment, and this is heinous behavior, and it's witchcraft, because he's intentionally trying to sow the discord between himself, between the ladies, to create tension and drama, and also probably maybe to get them kicked out of the group as well. This is not nice if this is true.
She might be great. More power to her. I don't give a flying frog's fat ass. I'm not trying to be rude, but like, damn. That's like that one ex that's like oh, I hit my other girl, or I hit my ex. She taller than you. She got more money than me. She got a fat ass than you.
That's exactly like
it's
that.
Like, what you feel about her? I feel like you should go be fucking her.
That's exactly like that.
If she bad, go get her.
Because you're trying to make me jealous, and I'm not invested in making you jealous. The oppressed become the oppressor. As a black man, you know what it feel like to be oppressed. You know what it feel like to be broke. You know what it feel like to get played with. You know what that feel like.
No, we don't.
So from you to go from being a black man that came from the ghetto and humble beginnings.
Randy.
That's what he said. He said he come from humble beginnings. They said he wore big black checks.
All right. Okay. Go ahead. Keep going.
I don't hear nothing else. That was it.
Okay.
To say you from humble beginnings and all that, and then to mistreat people that look like you over some money that they help you make is crazy.
We didn't help him make it. That's what he said. It's mine. That's what he said. He said, it's mine. I make $500,000 a show. I wipe my ass for $50,000. I'm rich. Hey, do you mind paying for my hotel? No. Can you pay for my flight to get to this city? No. Get it yourself. Come yourself. I paid to work.
Yeah, it's tight. It's very, very tight at this point. I can't lie to you. Look, my time is up anyway. Like, I don't want to talk too long. Like I said, I think the most important thing here to learn is, listen, first and foremost, if you're mean-spirited, you got ugly spirit, if you're prideful, if you're selfish and you're greedy, you know, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. You know what I'm saying to you? It's going to come out. And that's the problem that you have here. You know, when you're dealing with human beings, unfortunately, the trouble is that power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. You know what I'm saying to you? And it takes you off. This is funny because we see it with King David in the Bible. We see it as a human being myself. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, no one's exempt from it. But one thing I would say is about the way that you treat people is so important, because people will talk. Like, we can all do madness and etc., right? But the way you treat people, it will come back up. So if you treat someone badly, they will talk bad. Because you've planted the seed of bad vibes. What's going to come back to you is bad vibes. You know what I'm saying to you? So for me personally, listening to this video, and I'm sure there's more going to come out a little bit later on. That's going to come out later on as well, and we'll obviously pay attention and wait for that. But for me personally, I'm like, hey, is this the end of relationship podcast? I hope not. I actually like listening to relationship podcasts. I think relationship podcasts are great. I think it's entertainment. I think it's great to listen to. I think it's great to be able to hear different points of view. I love listening to people with different knowledge and wisdom. I take some and I take some on board. I say, no, that's not for me. And I love to learn from them. The key thing here is that whenever you have anything with more than 3-4 people, no doubt there's a lot of different energies that are going to play a role in the show. And so it's hard sometimes to manage that. But what's never going to help is if you are maltreating and you are abusive and you are calling out the names of your people them and you're mistreating them. That is never going to create an environment that's going to foster the love or the care or create a profitable environment. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there. I know Trip also said something in as well, because I think he was involved, but he didn't say something too tough. He was very classy about his response. We'll end on his response and then we'll get off.
New chapters to begin, old chapters have to end. And so with that, I am announcing my departure from tonight's Conversation podcast.
Trip's reasoning for leaving could have just been that he wants to start his own show. But then it brought me back to when Randy made this video.
I really be minding my business. Then here comes grown men trying to disrupt what I got going on. My own recordings, my mental health, my peace. It's a lot that I want to speak on right now, but I can't because my lawyer said, hey, baby, let's hit him where it hurts. I know that's right. Don't let that depression be in vain. Oh, all that to say this. The only tour you're going to see me on for real this fall and this winter and moving forward, period, is this one right here. Yo, what's up, guys? It's your favorite internet cousin, Randy Rosario, and I'm bringing you some real conversation with some of my real friends.
I know you caught that shade. Now let's get into Keita.
After the Diddy situation,
Now, one thing I would say is that Randy's on Anton Daniels, who also has problematic views about relationship. Some people would say problematic views about relationships. So again, this has got nothing to do with being a Christian. This is all to do with that fact that when it comes to relationship advice, even people who are Christian can have very bad advice. You know what I'm saying to you? Even those who can be Christian, because I think Anton Daniels calls himself Christian, and he's married, can give you bad advice. Nobody's free from giving bad advice. Just because you're married don't mean that you give good advice, because if your marriage is a really bad marriage, but because your partner stays in it because they're also broken and toxic too, you're going to give out bad advice. So in reality, the situation is good advice doesn't come just because you do something. Good advice comes because there is wisdom attached to what you're giving and knowledge. So for me personally, you know, I know Randy's now with Anton D. They went viral the other day for something crazy that Anton Daniels just said the other day. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, you've gone from that environment to this environment. He done went viral for saying something crazy about single mothers on that platform. So out of the fire into another pan. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So it's all about character. It's all about the person's character. Do you get what I'm saying to you? And whether you're Christian or not Christian, for me personally, character from an individual person. I've met some great people who are not Christians and have a great character. You know what I'm saying to you? But don't necessarily have the spirit of Christ in them. And it's because they follow the principles of Christ, even if they don't actually necessarily subscribe to Christ. And it's about love, you know what I mean? And treating people with care. And loving your neighbor as you love yourself. You know what I'm saying to you? So, hey, listen, we're going to leave it there. I know some more is going to come out about the situation as well. It's crazy out here, you know what I'm saying to you? So leave your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear your perspective as well and what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button. Also want to say this, the stories I'm hearing about Obama and Jennifer Aniston, I need it not to be true. Okay, Obama, I need you not to be sleeping with Jennifer Aniston. Okay, leave those snow bunnies alone. Okay, leave the snow bunnies alone. I appreciate you guys. Till next time.
Little black book, you know what time it is.